What's up, everybody? We'll give a couple minutes. Interestingly enough, believe it or not, for some of you, you might know me and know how well I prepare things. So I forgot that Substack does not allow for music to be played like shared audio. So we're going to hope that the music comes through on the interface. Sometimes it does. I've seen different programs where you don't have a screen share, but because I'm using an interface, it reroutes and then it doesn't echo back. So cross our fingers when we cross that bridge. While we're waiting for folks to make their way in here, many of you may not even realize that I'm starting on the hour instead of a 6:07. So surprise! But it gives us enough time to share with you a story that comes to mind, one that many of you may not be aware of. And just in case, I'll throw it to the crowd here. Anybody in the chat can let me know if you've heard of the story about the man in the blue suit. It looks like a no. I imagine blank faces. No, never heard about the man in the blue suit. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about the man in the blue suit. I'll tell you that. We'll get there. We'll get there. I promise that. First, I'm going to tell you about the man on the bicycle. There's a man. Let me clear the throat here. Holy moly. There was a man on a bicycle. And this man on his bicycle bicycled everywhere and loved bicycle. Also loved getting places, seeing the city, doing the things on the bicycle. It was just a different form. Now, this one particular day, the man on the bicycle had to get right downtown, right down to the courts. And when he got to the courts downtown amongst all the traffic, he got up onto the sidewalk there right in front of the building, and he noticed two bicycle racks, one to the left and then one off to the right. And he had this moment where he's like, whoa, which bicycle rack do I want to put my bicycle downtown outside of this building? To the left, he noticed a man in a blue suit. To the right, he noticed a man with a shopping cart in a hood and finger cut gloves and what looked to be a tarp and garbage in his shopping cart. I don't know if you've ever been there, but the man on the bicycle did what most sensible people would do and took one look to the left, took one look to the right, saw the difference, and decided to go to the bicycle rack to the left, right beside the man in the blue suit. Now, the man on the bicycle was in a bit of a rush, so he takes his bike off, puts it into the rack, locks it up, grabs his gloves, and forgot his water bottle. For most of the stuff on his bike, he left his lights, he left his saddlebags, everything. Bike pump, and he thought, it's all right. And he looks up to the man in the blue suit and kind of does the, you got this, cool. Now the man on the bicycle, not on the bicycle anymore, parks the bike, locks the bike, rips inside to the courts, does his business. But as he's looking, because he felt the urge to check his shoulder as he goes into the building, and he saw the man with the shopping cart making his way over towards the bike. He was already inside. He had already committed. So he just noticed that. He goes back in, does this thing, couple hours, comes back out to his bicycle and notices the lights are gone. Nothing else, just the lights. How frustrating. After getting all of his paperwork, spending 2 hours at the courts, rearranging his day, he comes out and his lights are gone. Now, meanwhile, this is an incredibly rainy day, and having lights on a bicycle weaving in and weaving out of traffic is life and or death. And he just throws his hands back, head up, and just screams. Man in the blue suit's nowhere to be found. He's looking around, and he looks to the back, and sure as shit, the homie with the shopping cart just casually sauntering over, catches eyes with the dude on the bicycle, now lightless, and he hollers at him, "Hey!" Guy looks startled, starts pushing his cart a little faster over towards him, and now there's going to be a duel on guard. "Hey, yeah, man, is that your bike?" "Yeah, it is. Where are my lights?" And the dude, "These ones?" Man on the bicycle goes, "Yeah, those ones." Confused, clearly. Dude with the shopping cart goes, "Yeah, I saw the man in the blue suit. He tried to swipe him, so I kicked his ass. Got him back for you." "Thank you." I mean, you didn't have to kick his ass. Oh, it was just a light kick ass. I just got him back. I stopped him. Now, I understand most people, when they hear that story, automatically assume the dude pushing the garbage in the shopping cart with fingerless gloves swiped homies lights. And the moral of the story is along the same lines as judging the book by the cover is usually a bad option. We have no idea what's going on in somebody else's world. So it's really, really important to be kind. And today, today I got to be the man on the bicycle. Now, truth be told, I have no idea who swiped the lights. I don't know if it was the man with the shopping cart, the men and women in the blue suits, or some other passerby. And quite frankly, the real moral of the story is it doesn't fucking matter. We spend so much time worrying about why things happen, when at the end of the day, as soon as I saw the bike lights gone, all I did was take a deep breath in, allow myself to feel the rage that was inside, because it wasn't the bike lights. It was the fact that I spent 2 fucking hours talking to the courts about an appeal process that is going to put me off the road for another fucking 4 months. And there's nothing they can do about it. So it had very little to do with the bike lights. Simon Sinek says if it's above a 3, it wasn't that thing. Oh, it was fucking 300. I was livid. And for a moment, I thought, why? Why me? What the fuck? Why? Why today? It's pissing down rain. I've come out of showers dryer and I just stepped outside. And I sat there going, why? And then I snapped out of that because I knew where that road goes. I've been down that road plenty of times and I don't like that road at all. And I took a breath and I saw there's closed circuit TV. I can call the police. And then I thought, wait a minute, they left everything else and they took the lights. What if that person needs some light? Because as much as my current situation sucks absolute monkey balls, I have no idea what the man in the blue suit is going through, and I have no idea what the man with the shopping cart is going through. And if one of those two dudes needed those lights more than me, then bless them with that wish for peace in their heart and let them find the same strength to heal that I seem to be constantly challenged with these days. And I know I was supposed to come on here and try to be all strong and teach you how to use neuroacoustics to write your life. As ironic as it is, music is the thing I always come back to. So at first I wanted to be like, well, I'm canceling this. And then I thought, no, there's definitely gold here because this is exactly why I do what I do. Because I know personally at least 5 different people that were in my situation that would not know what to do. And yeah, it still sucks, but I know exactly what to do. It still sucks. Fuck, it sucks. It sucks to, like, last week run into a tree avoiding a car on my bike, ripping my face open, getting stitches. And then this week, just as I finish finally getting the appeal thing done on the last day where they told me that it would have been another couple days, they literally, I was 2 hours from not being able to do what I needed to do. And I still got it done. So I hope that me showing up here today, despite really not wanting to, despite wanting to just punch holes in walls, um, shows somebody out there, whether watching live, whether you're catching the replay, shows you that no matter what, you get 2 choices. Well, oftentimes more, but for sake of argument, we'll say you get 2 choices. You can do the thing or you can not do the thing. And then the third one is, of course, just choosing to not decide. That's also a choice. And I think the amount of adversity in the last 30 days that I have, or maybe even more than that, 60 days or so, I hope that it just shows people that you just keep fucking going. Just keep going. It's temporary. It sucks. Oh, Christ, it sucks. But it's only temporary. And oftentimes, to quote the great Ryan Walla, um, contraction happens right before expansion. And I'm just holding on to that faith. I'm holding on to that hope. I'm looking for answers, but not the type of answers that most people look for. They look for the why. And I can tell you firsthand that is a victim mindset when you're looking for a why, a why, a why. What I started to do when I noticed myself do that on the street as I was just feeling it bubble up, breath back out. And then I started to look at, okay, no, caught myself with the why. I said, okay, how? How did it happen? I know it sounds stupid, but I left the things on the bike. That's how it happened. What happened? Well, somebody walked by, saw some apparently bike lights are great on street market, apparently. And they swiped him. That's what happened. And that's how it happened. And there's nothing else. Like, that's pretty clear. So what do you learn? Take everything. Now, the challenging part that that hurts me the most is I'm a very trusting human. And this shows how, like, I felt it even afterwards. I went to the gym right after because it's just a couple blocks down from where I was. So I go to the gym afterwards and I'm like watching my bike and I'm watching people on the street. I'm like, wow, I'm now paranoid. I can't leave my bike. I can't feel safe in my own city. That sucks. That really sucks. And I don't know how long that's going to take. I know that I have to acknowledge that, but I don't know if that's a permanent thing. I hope that's temporary because I love people and that really rocks me that I no longer feel safe leaving my stuff in my own city, which sucks a lot. So, why are we here? I mean, to make it, I'm really great at storytelling. That's one. And we can take this story of the man in the blue suit and we can draw it over to why music, though. Because for me, when I run into these problems, I immediately go into music mode. So, what did I do at the gym? Was I listening to Rage Against the Machine? Was I listening? No, maybe one song. Because you got to meet yourself where you're at. There's no sense in denying it. So yeah, I put on a little scream, and then it felt irritable. Like I got to where I needed to get to, and I was like, okay, cool. I'm mad now. I don't like this feeling, and I dropped back in to my music. I drop back into the stuff that brings my nervous system back down so that I can think about the next steps forward and how I can possibly turn around the rest of my day because that was a moment. I think we get caught in that. I think we get caught in moments and we think of that as our life. Because like one moment, oh, I've had a bad day. No, you haven't. You had like a moment of a bad day. Everything else up to that point for me was great today. It was fantastic. Even the rain ride, like I was soaked. I had literally come out of showers drier than me showing up sopping wet. It's just like a wall of rain today. And I was like, I have no real option. I've got to go here. I don't have money to go to get a cab or anything like that. I'll just ride and I'll enjoy it because we don't really know what the sunshine feels like until we've actually experienced a fucking downpour on a bicycle, I believe. So I got there and I was soaked. And then I walked in there and I was just like dripping and they were choked. They're like, dude, like what's wrong with you? I'm like, I only have a bike and it's pouring out. So deal with it. I don't know. They seemed more upset about it than I was, which great. Um, and then everything up until that one point where it was just like this breaking point today. I was just like, holy shit. That's life. That's what's happening right now. What signs are being sent to me? Well, upon making dinner, I thought, okay, well I can take the sign of somebody definitely needed more light in their life, literally. And that made me feel a lot better because then I feel like I'm actually helping somebody. Some people say that's toxic. No, definitely not toxic. I was fucking pissed. I was pissed because I sat there. I was like, Jesus Christ. Like seriously, lights? Like $80. That's it. And you had to swipe it. And then I thought, okay, well, put myself into that person's shoes. Let's say it was the man in the blue suit. Well, maybe the man in the blue suit's missing his lights. You know, maybe he's a recreational Lance Armstrong, and he's got an affinity with my lamps. They look good. They look really good on my bike. And he saw my bike, and it's an expensive bike. And he goes, "Oh, this dude can afford $80. I'm gonna swipe this. I'm a poor ass lawyer, right? I'm a sucker." Maybe, but maybe it was also who knows? It could have been the dude with the shopping cart, and he's sitting here going like, "Yo, bro, those lights, $80 to me, that'll get me through the next week and a half. Fuck yeah, I can sell this for crack." That's the thing. Don't mess with a crack dealer because they find a way to get to crack. That's the lesson. Like, I've got to step up my game to the point of being as vigilant as a crack dealer. I have not been nearly as vigilant in securing deals and working with my business and being like, I am a musician, and not having the wherewithal to showcase that. Because when a crack dealer's around, like, they let you know, and they know that they're going to get it. They're going to steal your bike. They're going to steal your kids. They're going to steal your animals. They're going to get into your backyard and steal your peaches if you're in a place where peaches grow. Not here, more like your potatoes here. They're going to find a way. And I think for myself, maybe the lesson is I've got to actually do better. I've got to communicate what I'm actually brought here to do. And I thought about that when I was making dinner. I was like, well, what is that then? If that is the thing that is the lesson here today. And I thought, well, it's not. I mean, it's a little bit of music, but it's delivering these type of stories of being like, this is what happened. This is how I chose to respond. You can do the same, because if I can do it, you can do it. Some people won't like that. A lot of people won't like that. Some people will love that and they'll say, dude, that's so inspiring. Perfect. If I have one person out there that I inspire to think differently, done. I think we get lost in like trying to change the world, but if you can just make your world better, that's where it's at. I just happen to do it through a couple different means, mostly music and story work. That being said, this has been the biggest problem in my life. And I would like to invite anybody watching this live or on replay to grab a pen, grab a paper, and think about what's the biggest problem in your life. Write it out as if it were this question: I got a real problem with, and fill in the blanks. I guess that's not a question. That's more of a statement. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm, first day on the job. Write that out. I've got a real problem with, for me, traffic tickets. Motherfuckers. Oof. Give you a minute. Write that down. Meanwhile, if anybody's in the chat here, I don't know how to tell if there's anybody here. So if anybody is in the chat, I'm going to play some music, and I'm really going to hope that you guys can hear it, because if not, it's going to be less effective. And we're probably not going to do this ever again, because Substack needs to have music for me to be most effective. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to open up a tune, and I'm going to look for somebody in the chat if there is anybody here. If there's nobody here, then hey, we're just going to hope for the best. Let's go with this guy. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. Come on, baby. Oh, I don't have it uploaded. Christ. Okay. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Let's see see if I can pull this up. If you've got that written down, you're going to take a minute to read that back to yourself out loud. And when you're reading that, I want you to think about what comes up. And what I mean by that is, what sensation do you feel in your body? Where do you feel it in your body? And on a scale of 1 to Justin Bieber, that's an 11. 11 is high, 1 is low. How intense is that feeling? Make note when you read that out loud. Meanwhile, I'm going to quickly try to upload the song that I want. Or wait, maybe I don't even have to. Let's see. Okay, we found a track. Let's see if it plays. Then I will require some help to tell me if it actually plays. Ba-da-dum. Okay. I'm going to come back into Substack here. If anybody can hear that in Substack, please just do something in the chat, or like, are there likes or bubbles or anything? If you hear music, or if you don't hear music, also let me know. That would also be helpful. Anything? I saw a heart. That must mean something's happening. Okay. I'm just gonna trust Substack. Get your shit together. Be able to share music next time. Now, why I'm playing this music is because it is a theta beat. Theta wave is really good for emotional regulation. It allows us to get into a mindfulness that is like monks. Also helps fuel creativity and break limiting beliefs, all of which we need for this next part of the assignment. So once you've got that written down and you've traced back what comes up into the body, I'm going to get you to scratch out one word. That problem word is giving us a problem. So let's scratch it out. And I want you to replace it with possibility. Because I like... Oh, that's not the right song. Just goes on autoplay here. I have to be really quick with my starts and stops. I will do better at building the playlist next time. I definitely didn't plan that part. So now I've got a real possibility with whatever that is. Now I'm going to have you read that again. Read it back. Take it in. See what happens. See if anything changes. Again, what do you feel? Where do you feel it? And how intense on a scale of 1 to Justin Bieber? Now, for those of you playing the home game, hopefully you can hear me over the sound, provided there is sound. Good little cello and some piano here. And a lot of rain. Soothing. If you noticed a difference between the two, that's good. That's awesome. That's the power of language. When we see everything as a problem, we will see everything as a problem. When we look at the same situation and view it as a possibility, or another way of saying it is an opportunity, we then start to shift the way that we see things around us. And we're more open to things being awesome for us and always happening for us, as opposed to things being bad and everything happening to us. It rained on me today. Somebody stole my bike lights. Ooh. Yeah. Maybe. There's a lot of good things that happened today, though, too. And I had a lot of people helping me today. I didn't hit a tree. That's a big win. So think about your situation and what the difference in your body is, and just pick one. What one do you prefer? What feeling do you prefer? The feeling associated with problems or the feeling associated with possibilities? Most of us are going to go with the latter. This type of work paired with the music that you're listening to right now can change your life. And I don't say that lightly. Can radically change your life. If I didn't have my music ready to go today, I would still be fuming. Promise that. Especially with emotional regulation, the reason that I'm playing theta again is because this can bring you right back down to a place where you can think and you can get creative. Because when you're met with a problem, creativity is the answer to help you solve it, whether that's with music, writing, art, design, dance, movement, anything that you do that's creative that allows you to help yourself process the feelings that are coming up that you have complete control over. You just got to process. You got to feel it. After I'm done here, I'm going to finish writing a song. Like I've already got the first. Because that's what I did. I got on the bike on my ride home and I started thinking, there's a song in this. And that's just how I process. And I want to be able to give that gift to everybody else, where they can just sit back for 3 to 5 minutes. They listen to music and they bring themselves back down and off the ledge. And they show up better for themselves, and they show up better for their friends, and they show up better for their community. Small rocks move mountains. And bless their soul, whoever needed that light, because they needed it more than me. I've got all the light in the world. I just needed to be reminded of that. If this at all has moved you today, the music, the story, the work with language, please reach out. Because I thought, what if I did meet that person that took the lights? What would I do? What would I say? I would want to help that person figure out what motivated them to steal instead of heal. Because I've been on both sides of that fence. It sucks. So, listen, I've got lots of stuff on offer this isn't the place to do that. If you're interested in learning more, you know where to find me. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear what's up, because together, I believe we all heal. I think that it's a team sport. I really do. And my shit pile is no bigger than yours. And it's important to remember that. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Peace.